Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Christiano, and welcome to my show. I'm so glad you tuned in. Today we're going to focus in on chronic pain. That's pain in the joints, whether it's your knees, your neck, your back, shoulders, hips. If you're dealing with chronic pain, then I know what you're feeling because I, for all my life, have dealt with lower back pain, and I understand it clearly how it disrupts your life. Today we're going to delve into the ins and out of how the stem cell activator for your joints can actually help repair tissue. My wife Lori and I are going to go into that topic and we'll break it down for you so that you can walk away from this show with more insights and more understanding and hope for an answer to your problems. Also, we have testimonials of a male and a female who've gone through, maybe you can identify with what they're going through or had gone through from the standpoint of having pain, how it disrupts their life, how it causes so much disruption in day-to-day activities that you basically want to give up on life. Then they'll share with you some of the diagnoses that they went through, still to no avail. But eventually, they're going to share with you how the stem cell activator helped them. Listen, if you're struggling with pain, if you're suffering with this kind of pain, you're not alone. If you can understand this, that the Institute of Medicine did a study on 4 major areas or conditions that produce pain: diabetes, heart disease, heart attacks, chest pain, and cancer, and the multiple millions of people that are struggling with pain. Well, when you total those totals and compare it to chronic pain, it's not even close. Today, over 100 million Americans today are struggling with chronic pain, that's that joint pain, on a day-to-day basis. And that doesn't have to be you. If you are there, then today's show is going to bring you the hope that you're looking for. I myself, as I mentioned many more times before, that I've struggled with chronic pain, but I've found out through my research and studies how I can not only control the pain, but I can minimize the pain so that I can enjoy my life. Now, we're going to take off now and look at one of the testimonials, and we'll talk about it when we get back.
My knees have been bothering me for many years. I could just say 3 years. I'm not sure the exact time frame, but the pain has been really bothering me because I've been exercising, and especially walks around Lake Merritt here in St. Pete, just really horrible pain. The results that Dr. Brevnick came up with, she saw, was that I had bone on bone, and I had the tissue issues as well as arthritis. And so she told me that what I needed to do was to go either for surgery, or take some kind of medication. I did go to a little seminar and went up to another location where they would do surgery. And they feel that they have the best surgeons and the best research and the best everything to go ahead in and do a knee surgery. And they took an x-ray and they came up with the same thing, bone on bone, tissue and arthritis for my 2 knees. I was watching a show on TV, and there was Dr. Joe Christiano on delivering his information on his stem cell activators. And then I heard all these testimonies of success on his activators, which target specific areas of the body, all the different ones. So I was recommended when I called Dr. Joe's, and that I would be best with the 2. One for the bone, the OST, which has something to do with the tissue, and then the CNT, which is dealing with the tissues themselves. It was just unbelievable how quickly, within a week, the pain was gone. And I'm walking around the lake and everything, and walking around and continuing every morning this little dosage. And I'm just now coming up to, I think a month. What a relief. What a relief. Because here I am, 72 years old. And I have a lot of life and activity and plans for my life. I just needed to feel good. I always want to feel good and healthy.
Wow, that was awesome. I love to hear those kind of results. You know, results are different for everybody, but listen, you just heard these results from a real person who shared her journey. I mean, she was painful. She lived with the pain. It disrupted the things she loved in life, like going for walks, daily walks and things like that. And that could take the spirit out of living. I mean, let's face it. In fact, if you're experiencing pain, you're going through the same thing. I did when I was living with chronic pain. But these stem cell activators, like her, can turn your situation around. It does for me. When I hurt myself or re-injure myself, I take a certain activator that targets that particular area, and before I know it, I'm back on top of my game again. It's just absolutely wonderful. But you know, you found out by listening to her testimonial that the physicians wanted her to have surgery because she was bone on bone. And when you're on bone, the only option left is surgery. But I want you to stop and think about that. Before you opt for surgery, I want you to understand that there are natural ways, these technologies, these stem cell activators, that are really a game changer for you. They really fix the problem. Now, results will be different for everybody, but if you've tried everything, if you've gone to the doctor, you're taking medications and all these things and it's not happening, then maybe the activator is the answer. Well, listen, now we're going to go listen to Billy. Billy's going to share again his testimonial, a painful testimonial, but a powerful, positive result. Let's check this out.
I had so many different products I use for pain, and every night before I go to sleep, I would have to rub this certain stuff on my knee and rub it because I know that I couldn't sleep at night. The doctor said you have bone on bone, and eventually you will need a knee replacement. I started with a cortisone shot, which lasted for 3 months, and then it started again. Then I had another cortisone shot, which only lasted about 3 weeks. 6 months ago, I had the gel shots put in my knee, and it gave me maybe, I had a pain of 3 to 4. It never really relieved my pain at all. And then, as I found out through this lady, my friend's wife, who told me about these adult stem cell activators, then I said, I've heard about stem cell shots, and I know that they cost quite a lot of money, and I know I couldn't afford something like that. But I said, for the price here, why not try it? A few days later, I called Body Redesigning, and I told them that I have bone on my right knee, and what would be the best stem cell activator that I would use for myself. And she mentioned CNT, it's for connective tissue. So when I started the 20 drops, I had no pain after 4 days. And as I speak with you now, I can bend my knee, I stretch it every day, and before I couldn't do it. When I used to put my knee down, I would have excruciating pain in it, and I have no pain in it. I'm so happy about it, and I'm so thankful to be able to use these products, and I'm so thankful that Dr. Joseph Christiano has a heart for other people, that you don't have to spend $3,000 or $5,000 when you have a product that you can afford here, and it works, and it's awesome. As I speak right now, I got chills coming up my head because I'm so excited about it. I can't explain it. I'm overjoyed that this works. I know it works, and I tell people about it. It's just awesome. I used to walk like this, but you know something? Now I got my bop back. I can walk like I used to walk. I got my bop back.
I love that testimony with Billy. You know, he's got his bop back. There he is bouncing down the street again. But you know, he shared with us his painful journey. And along the way, he ended up having an injection, cortisone steroid, or a steroid in his knee. And, you know, it gave him some relief. It was only temporary at best. But, you know, you've got to be very careful with something like that, because if you have too many injections, then what happens is your soft tissue, the cartilage and the tendons start to erode, and they get very weak. And those soft tissue or ligaments and tendons actually support the joint. And if you're continually going down that path of medications, then you're going to actually cause more harm to the knee or any other joint. So, but he did what he knew to do, just like you and I would, whatever we have at our disposal, we try, but to no avail. And he's a baseball player, or he plays softball. He's very active at his age and things like that, but that disrupted his life as well. But then he took the stem cell activator. And you heard the story, you saw what he did and was able to do. And to me, That's the answer. You know, a lot of times people say, well, how we know it's going to work? Well, I don't know if it's going to work, but I can tell you this, from my own personal experience it has, and then many, many others, just like Donna Lee earlier, and now Billy, they're attesting to it. Now, these are people that have been living with pain for years, just like maybe you are. So there's hope. There's absolutely hope. In fact, what I'd like you to do right now is call my office, 1-800-259-2639, 1-800-259-2639, and talk to one of my girls there. They are very informed and they'd be glad to help you out. Or go to my website, bodyredesigning.com, bodyredesigning.com, and let's put an end to that pain. Well, listen, we need to get on with the show. We're going to get with my wife, Lori, and we're going to break down this whole topic about chronic pain and the activators that work for them and possible applications. But to help you out a little bit more, you probably need to know a little bit about stem cells to understand the importance of stem cell activators. So when you and I were born, we were given stem cells. Now, I want to make it clear, we're not talking about embryonic. I just want to make that clear before we go any further, but the stem cell activators are really key for rejuvenating stem cells. These are the repair crews in your body. And when they stop working, your body goes into a chronic condition. So it's real important to take the stem cell activators to reactivate your stem cells so your body can go back to healing itself naturally. Well, the time has come. Time to roll up our sleeves and delve in. Lori and I are now going to break this whole thing down for you so that you can walk away more informed and understand that there is hope with chronic pain. Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Christiano. And this is my wife, Lori.
Hi.
Welcome to Stem Cell Revolution. These videos are all about working with our genetic materials, our stem cells, and how they work and how they operate and how they are directly impactive on our healing of the body and its tissues. But today we're going to be talking about the activators. In fact, the activator called CNT, which is specific for musculoskeletal system. In other words, we're talking about joints like knees and elbows, back, neck, things like that. And how many people have issues with joint pain or soft tissue, ligaments and tendons from car accidents or traumas or falls or even sports related, work related, and then just the aging process. And so, in fact, in America itself, there's over 125 million Americans that deal on a daily basis with chronic pain. We're talking about musculoskeletal problems, okay? This is more than people that have cancer and diabetes pain and things like that. Joint pain related issues. And we have an activator that is doing a wonderful job in healing the tissues by what we know is rejuvenating the stem cells. And Lori's going to share with you some of the applications that this particular stem cell activator really can do for you.
And these are called CNT. It's for connective tissue. It's all the soft tissues in the body it targets. I'm going to read you the possible applications.
The ligaments, tendons, yep.
It helps regulate intracellular communication and support cellular and tissue regeneration in the connective tissues of the body. It helps protect cells from toxic action and has great potential in gerontology. Possible applications would be toxicity, viruses, sex organs, gerontology, sports injuries, hernias, sagging skin, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, arthritis, inflammation, scarring, prolapsed uterus, stretch marks, and much more. It's all the soft tissue. It's the most popular activator we have, and it's amazing what it's been helping with people.
It's the most popular because it's the most common problem to deal with. We see this because we work with people with pancreas issues, diabetes, kidneys, nerve issues, and things like that. But the musculoskeletal system is what gets banged up. Whether you've worked construction all your life, or you had hard physical work all your life, or been in sports, or if you just have a genetic issue, But as we age, we get arthritis, we get a little bursitis, and before you know it, we're living with pain constantly. And so what happens, and I'll tell you what happens because I've lived with chronic pain. That's why I wrote Stem Cell Revolution and some of my other books. I've been a patient of conventional medicine until I learned some of these cutting edge technologies and therapies. And the stem cell activator is one of them. In fact, I'll share my own story. You know, I've been a former competitive bodybuilder and powerlifter for years. Back in the day, it wasn't just getting fit. I'm talking about lifting heavy weights and pushing the body. And you know, when you're young, you go ahead and do it and you throw a little dirt on it and you just go forget about it. But you know, 50, 60, 70 years old, that body goes, okay, now you're mine, you know. And so what happens is you're living with pain. And you know, and you probably know somebody, if it isn't yourself, where you have joint pain, whether it's your knees, your hips, your back. You know, at first you maybe pop an aspirin or maybe an ibuprofen or something, you know, just to deal with it and get by. But that's, again, treating the symptom. It's not treating the root cause. And over time, it gets worse and worse till now it's disrupting your normal life, your normal function, getting out of the car, getting in the car, going down the basement, going up to the attic, going for a walk. You know, you park your car close to the store because you don't want to walk because you're in pain. And then what happens, your whole quality of life drops. And not only that, your caretakers, your loved one, your spouse, they have to go down that path with you. So eventually you go to the physician and he or she would then say, well, listen, let's do an X-ray or an MRI and we'll take a look at it all and then we'll go from there. And well, here's a script for pain, here's a script for anti-inflammatories, and you go down that path. And well, we'll see you in a couple of months, see how you do it, and what happens is, you're no better, doc, I'm dying, man. And so, well, there's nothing more we can do, or there's then surgery or more medications. So we're here to share with you and to give you some insights on the powerful effects that these activators have, in this case, on connective tissue, your ligaments, your tendons, your joints, so that maybe you can avoid an unnecessary surgery that is so common.
And what's good about these activators is that they don't interfere with any medications. They're all natural. They're all plant-based. They don't interfere with supplements. You know, they're easy to take. They're little drops you put in water every morning.
Here's how simple it is. Okay, you tell them how often they can take it out. Here's how you do the drops. If you can count, you're in good business. You're in good shape.
You just do it once a day.
2, 3, that's a drop.
20 drops once a day. It's called 20-20-20 rule. 20 drops, 20 seconds in the mouth. And you put them in the water, 20 seconds in the mouth, and then you wait 20 minutes before you put anything else in the mouth. It's got to be on an empty stomach, so easy to take.
Yes, on an empty stomach, and then once you do it, 20 minutes before or 20 minutes after eating and having a beverage. First thing in the morning is probably more convenient to get your day started. But if you can't, I tell people, listen, when you can have an empty stomach, do that. You know, some do it before. But let me tell you something about myself. Having all those years of training and competitive training, I ended up with rotator issues, okay? And a lot of times we have these micro tears. You don't have a complete tear, but you have micro tears. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe you'll recognize this. You're laying in bed and you go to pull the sheet over you and it's so painful just to move that sheet. In fact, you could just to move your arm, it kills you. And so many people are dealing with that. People that do a lot of work overhead or just a wear and tear or a fall. And I've seen it more than not when a person sees their physician, they go to an orthopedic surgeon or they see a doctor and they go, you need to have surgery. And they go ahead and have surgery. And don't get me wrong, if it's an emergency surgery, you got to have it, it's emergency. But I don't know anyone who's gone through the surgery that has gone back to normal function. Because every time you have surgery, every time we have surgery and they cut through tissue, even if they mend it and sew it back and the stem cells heal the tissue, the body starts developing scar tissue. And that scar tissue disrupts your mobility. So now you're limited to what you can do. The blood flow can't circulate well. And whenever there's a lack of blood flow, there is an impossibility for healing. So we have these activators, in this case the CNT, which is specifically for ligaments, soft tissue, tendons, ligaments, joints, and so forth.
And it's helped your shoulder.
And it's amazing because, you know, I train regularly. You know, you've got to understand. You don't know me, but about 8 years ago, I ended up in a walker because of chronic pain. I lived with chronic pain my entire life. And like I said, after a while, you know, it just accumulates, and before you know it, your body's broken down. Well, I did a lot of research because, you can only take so many medications before your body starts breaking down because of the toxicity levels. In my case, I always made sure if I were taking a regimen of medications, I knew my liver and kidneys were going through some real damage. So I would try to balance that off by taking natural detoxification supplements to counter the trouble. But I thought to myself, there has got to be a natural way. There's got to be options other than cutting and burning and taking medications to fix something, because they're not fixing anything. So I started doing research, and that's why my book, Stem Cell Revolution, is all about the ABCs of stem cell therapy and how it works, PRP therapy, but then a whole section on these activators, because since I started these activators, and I tried it on family members, particularly my mom, I said I have to take it to the world, because so many of us are experiencing the same problems, but we don't have the solutions. And conventional medicine is not going to help us. So here's a testimony or two that Lori will share to let you know that when people take these, and by the way, I can't tell you they're going to help you. I can tell you the stories we're getting back from people that are taking
I have one that the bad knees, an avid horse rider, loved to ride horses, but couldn't get on the horse because their knees were so bad. And they go, I don't know what's in these activators, but they seriously work. Now she's back to riding the horse. I have another one who bone on bone with her knees.
Yes.
And after 2 bottles, no more pain. Doctor wouldn't even do the surgery because of the age, but now they've got a solution or something that can help eliminate some of the pain. Yes. Another one was a bowler. With his shoulder, you were talking about your shoulder, and he was a bowler. He couldn't bowl anymore because his shoulder was so bad.
So painful.
And started taking him 3 months later, his shoulder's back to normal. He's out bowling again.
See, it's amazing. It's
I had a swimmer.
amazing.
Another one was a swimmer, and the breath, doing the breaststroke, and the butterfly. She couldn't get through the flip. It was just so bad. Now she's swimming again. We get people with hip problems, knee problems, back, neck.
I absolutely love this.
Just all sorts of different testimonials that come into the office.
Lori, I'm going to interject this, and I know it's off the side a little bit, but we have people that are pet owners.
Oh, yes.
Okay? Pet owners, and some of their pets have arthritic conditions, limping around or losing that step that puppy has and things like that.
I have a story too with that too.
And what we found, now this beats the placebo effect, but when you give this to a pet, if you give it to a cat or a dog or a horse, and all of a sudden that pet that was now lame, limping, and lost its spunk is all of a sudden back to normal.
That's amazing.
That pretty much washes out the placebo effect. Go ahead.
And we've helped people with their animals, their dogs and cats and horses. But one little dog, she was throwing the ball to the dog, and the dog hit a pole and started going into seizures, and so could not function. So she rushed it to the hospital, animal hospital, and they kept the dog in there for 3 days, and it did not help at all. So during that time, she goes, send me overnight whatever you want, whatever we can. So we said, we'll do the CNT. So sure enough, she got it to her when they brought the dog home, started giving him the activators, and within 2 days, the dog was back to normal.
But you think about this here. If you had a lower back injury, and believe me, many people do, and just through the natural course of life, that L4, L5, that joint down there, it wears because of the body weight and movement and everything. And so many people have what they call herniated disc or bulging disc, and then it presses against a nerve. Now you have sciatic nerve, and it's just horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I lived with this for so many years, and I understand it. And you go to the doctor to get a remedy, and it's generally muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatories, and or pain meds, opiates or something like that. And I get it. If a person is in pain and I could take this little pill and the pain is gone, I'm probably going to go back to it when the pain comes. But the only problem is I'm not going to the root cause. I'm not going to the area in which is causing the inflammation. The inflammation, by the way, or the pain you're feeling is a symptom of something happening at the cellular level. And these stem cell activators, and this one in particular, the CNT, is designed to go into the tissue that's been damaged, whether it's a ligament, whether it's tendon, and they stay inflamed. They don't get better. okay? And they go in there and they activate the adult stem cells that aren't doing their job because of the wear and tear and the aging process and so forth, and rejuvenate them stem cells. The stem cells, in turn, are now back to par in their function, and they're healing the tissue that's damaged. That's why these dogs can run around. That's why the bowler can go back to bowling.
I mean, it's amazing because they're all natural. These are all
Yeah,
just little drops, and they're all
plant-based,
natural. They
yes.
don't interfere. But what's sad with a lot of, when you're talking about pain, there's a lot of people with so many different types
Yes.
of pain, is that they don't want to have to take medicine. I
Right.
get so many people that I don't want it to be on any medications,
Sure.
but they're in so much pain.
Yes.
They got to do something, and this is an easy something to try. And we always say give it at least 3 months. I mean, you got to give it time to work.
Yeah.
People want a miracle in a bottle.
sure.
I wish we had that, but
Yeah.
ours takes time. It's a slow process, but some people notice it within 2 weeks. They're noticing
Yes,
a difference. Sometimes it's a month, 2 months, 3 months. Everyone is so different, but we're saying start taking it and give it time to work.
Sure, because we're really addressing the root cause.
Yes.
And and by the way, when you do take the stem cell activator, they are doing their job and they are activating your stem cells. You may not feel anything, and I tell people, listen, don't look for a change every 24 hours. Just carry on your life, but stay constant in taking these. And the key is taking them, on an empty stomach, take them 15 minutes or 20 minutes between meals and beverages, because the activation is its most potent
On an
when
empty
it's on an
stomach.
empty stomach. And then it's just a matter of time. And once you start taking them, your body will respond in a way that would be maybe unique to somebody else.
When you do start taking them, they're just so easy to take and
Oh, yeah.
so
Yes.
amazing
Yeah.
that people do share it with other people. But the key is to start taking them, giving them time to work. Some people say, "Oh, I've got a knee issue. I'm bone on my knee. I need surgery." Well, okay, start taking it. So as they call back and they'll, "Oh, my fingers feel better. I'm sleeping better."
Yeah.
There's other results of taking the activators that we're not talking about, but it's a benefit in all sorts of different areas.
So when it comes to dealing with joint pain, chronic pain, these nagging issues with our back, our neck, our hips, our joints, things like that, the stem cell activator, the CNT, may be your choice.
Yes.
It's going to be up to you. You can check us out on our website or call our 800 number. Get more informed. But the education that we're giving you today, it's a brushstroke, but hopefully it gives you the equipment that you need, the ammunition you need to combat something you may be dealing with or a loved one. But the decision is up to you.
If you would like to order our stem cell activators or Dr. Christiano's book, Stem Cell Revolution, please call 1-800-259-2639 or go to our website at bodyredesigning.com.